Hi, this is Mrs. Duffy, and today we're going to talk about how we can add to our Powtoons by changing the background and adding graphics or pictures. So the first thing is that we want to add a background to this. So I'm going to go over here and choose background. Now, although I have lots of different fancy ones, I think that I would like a simple color. I'm going to go to background color. If I choose green, I notice that it's hard to see my text. So I'm going to go with a lighter color. You want to make sure that your background isn't competing for attention with the graphic or with the text that you've chosen. So, and I would also like a picture of someone who looks like me waving. So it's important to have an idea of what you want before you go looking. So I'm going to click on characters and I see some different ideas of people that I can use, but I really like this one here. And I can use her with any of these poses. I'm going to choose waving. So there's me, I'm waving. If I wanted to change, I could just go to this guy here, click there, and oh, there's my angry face. But I'm going to switch back to waving. So now I've added a character to my first slide. The next one, instead of adding a character, this time I'd like to use some pictures, like a picture of a computer or that kind of thing. I want to go to my background and I like simplicity, so I'm going to use that same background color again. Oh, maybe I'll go pink to kind of complement the font that I used here. And now I want to choose a picture of a computer. So when I click on objects, it opens this window to so many different objects that I can choose. So within objects, I want to choose for a computer. So it gives me lots of options here. So I went ahead and I typed it in that search bar. It said search in objects, and it shows me all these different pictures that I have. So I'm going to choose that one. Now, if I didn't search in objects, I would be just looking at this window here. So I have these business ones. I want to stay away from the business ones. They have a huge business tag on them and they might charge me money. So they're not included with my account. So I'm going to stay away from the business ones. But I know if I still needed that computer picture, I could search in tech and web and then I'd have some more options. So when you choose objects, you can either enter your object in the search window here or find its category. You'll notice that some of these computers have a plus sign. You're going to find that the plus sign exists on lots of your options. What that is it gives you the option to include media from another source. So for this example, it's kind of like a frame, and theoretically I could put my picture of my face that I took on a different day and put it in there. Now, side note, I find that these fancier options with Powtoons only make the program run really slowly. In fact, last time I tried to insert my picture into that computer frame and it loaded and loaded for about 5 minutes until I got frustrated and let it and just deleted it. So staying simple is a good thing. Besides objects, I could insert some graphs. We'll talk about a soundtrack on a different day, but I can also include media. So if I didn't like any of the pictures that were included with characters or objects, I can kind of look to see what other resources I have with media. So here's where we're going to do a little bit of a digital citizenship lesson. We want to be really careful when we use Powtoons that we only use pictures that we're allowed to use. So if we come here and we say search web for issues or for images, I'm going to look right here. And so let's say I want to search the web for a picture of a koala. Right now what it's doing is it goes out into the internet and it searches for pictures of a koala. So if I'm on this slide, I can choose this koala and he goes right there. But that is not what I want to do. So I want to go up here to this undo button and undo it. So let's say I want this picture of a koala. One super fun thing that I can do is I can actually click on this and it's going to make it my background. And how fun is that? So as long as I stay in here with my media, I'm okay because Powtoon uses pictures, only pictures that we are allowed to use. The thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to go into out of the tab, download a picture of a koala that someone else took that we may not have permission to use, and then upload it through my media. So I want you to stay here if you're going to search for images. The last thing that I want to show you with pictures is that you can use this timeline. So remember how I changed the timeline before so that a few seconds in it would say, I'm fine, thanks for asking. I can do that also with pictures. So when it says, when that bubble comes up, it says, I'm fine, thanks for asking. I'm going to find a picture of a cat that pops up with it. So I'm going to go put my timeline right at that spot where that second speech bubble comes in. Click on objects and search for cat. Oh, and this one's perfect. So let's go back and see what that looks like. Go back to the beginning of it. Hello, how are you today? I'm fine, thanks for asking. Isn't that cute? All right, next time we will talk about adding a soundtrack and publishing your Powtoon.